But you saying that you're not going to vote, you're a coward. Okay, you're the lukewarm that God spits out. That's you. You're the food that is nice and warm and cooked well, but then left out in the cold. That's you. You're the one right in the fence, right up the butt crack, and you like it. That's you. You are the soft as rice type person. All right, so for this section here, I would like to kind of start something new, okay? I promise you, go through at least 100 comments a day. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm popular on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? But I've been doing this YouTube thing for about going on 3 months. And it took off really quickly. Some videos were, positive. I got a lot of positive feedback, but most of it, which is okay, that's YouTube. I was ready for this kind of conflict, are just negative. Okay, and I try not to feed into it, but I think some people just like it. I think people like to be disrespected, so they come mess with me. But there's a nice amount of people who actually want to have conversations. So I want to use this kind of moment to reflect upon some of the more recent comments that I had and kind of address it, because sometimes it feels like just, typing doesn't get my point across. You know what I'm saying? So I think some of these comments, I just want to make a video and kind of explain myself, because like I said, these are more so the recent comments. So, these are videos probably like a day or two old. So this one here is, I think these comments is pretty much coming out of the video I posted on why I vote Democrat, and you should too. That's literally, the title right there. And some interesting comments. One person, Mr. Carlos Campos, he said, "Can't do it, brother. Nobody should vote Democrat or Republican at this point. They're one corporate party. It is time for a true political revolution. Majority of Americans consider themselves independent. We just need the right person who is willing to run a third party and is 100% grassroots funded." All right, check this out. Mr. Campos, I hope I'm saying that right. Mr. Carlos. All right, let's go ahead and break that down. One, to say no one should vote Democrat or Republican at this point, that's not going to happen. Okay. If your message does resonate with people, is more so going to be Democrats, because out of the two parties, and I'm not saying everybody on the Republican side feel this way, but majority of Democrats will kind of see their own party as garbage. And they're just one hop skipping away from not voting for them. Like myself, I'm not, we should vote Democrat. Like, no, it is what it is. I know what kind of party this is. I know it's a bunch of trash politicians, but it's the best that we have at the moment. But if your message was to resonate with somebody, it would be Democrats. And if Democrats didn't vote, who's going to win? Republicans, because Republicans are going to vote no matter who is running. That's the problem. They don't see their own party as trash. They see it as a means to an end. They want this result. They're going to vote for whoever is running to get that result. They don't care about character. They don't care about their bigotry. They don't care about their hatred. They just want lower taxes. They just want regulations cut for their businesses, or, little just dumb stuff like that. So they're going to vote that regardless. So that's my problem with that first part. No one should vote Democrat or Republican at this point. Like, no one's going to listen but Democrats. And like I said, they're already not wanting to vote. So it's like, yes, they are one pretty much corporate party, because they all kind of benefit from the same, big corporations. Like, they pay this and they pay that. Yes, I get it. But it's time for a true political revolution. Majority of Americans consider themselves independent. Now, this word independent, I am tired of people calling themselves independent. It makes me want to just throw up on myself every time somebody says, I'm an independent. What that tells me now, is there people who truly believe they're independent? Yeah, very few. Very few. But when I see just the average person saying that they're independent, it lets me know that they're lukewarm. It lets me know that they're on the fence. They can't pick a side because they don't want to upset this or they don't want to upset that side. These are the people who are comfortable being in the middle and not having no confrontation with nobody. They don't want to argue with nobody. So they're going to say they're independent. Because if they say they're Democrats, then they got to fight with Republicans. If they say they're Republicans, they got to be, fight being called racist and bigots and stuff like that. So every time somebody says they're independent, it lets me know that they're just lukewarm with everything. They don't want to commit to something. We just need the right person who is willing to run third party. Third party, I would love. To be honest, I would love a third party. But it's so much when it comes to the systematic oppression we have when it comes to voting and when it comes to government. Because a lot of these lobbyists, a lot of these big corporations, they fund these Republicans and Democrats. Okay, let me say that again. And Democrats. I know somebody is going to be in the comments fighting me as if I'm not saying and Democrats. Okay, so I need to say that 3 times for those people. These big corporations and lobbyists are funding millions of dollars to either or campaign. So for someone to go Green Party or independent or whatever color they want to use, they would have to be damn near Jesus to do so. They would have to be damn near. I mean, look at Bernie Sanders. I thought he was the perfect dude to do so. Now, was he a little progressive? Like, we could talk about that. But he criticized his own party. He, for the least, had the best interest of everybody, not just Democrats. He wasn't just catering for Democrat voters. He cared about everybody having health care. He cared about everybody having affordable access to education. He cared about everybody making pretty decent money. And he still lost. And why did he lose? Because these big corporations are not going to let somebody like Bernie Sanders step in and mess up their money, mess up their business plans, mess up their stock shareholders. They're not going to let Bernie Sanders do that. So if somebody who was well equipped, ready for this, political revolution, and he was to, start his own party or go green or whatever color he wants to use, it would be a disaster, in my opinion. Because like I said, these corporations would throw all the money they need to make sure he doesn't win. So like I said in my video, we need to forcefully make one of these parties do our bidding. And if you only have 2 parties, which one is easier to punk? The Republicans or the Democrats? And I think the Democrats are easier to force and punk and make them do what we all as citizens of America want. And it's just to live a dignified life. So maybe I spent too much time on that comment, but once again, it wasn't insulting me. It wasn't, just some stupid, idiotic comment. He actually had a good point, and I wanted to take the time to answer to him. You see how that works? Good conversation. All right, so this guy says, now this is exact opposite. He says, scientifical, looks like you failed English as well. Now, before I could respond to him, because I was at work when I got this message, like I said, I don't shy away from conversations, good or bad. And before I could respond to him, he deleted his comment. And I wanted to highlight and post his comment everywhere, because if you just use the simple technology that everybody have in their pockets, Good old Google. I know some of you guys really hate looking up basic information like this person here who can't even put his first and last name. That's how much of a coward he is. Scientifical is a word, you idiot. That's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. All right. Do you okay, so I posted on my community chat. So if you are following on YouTube, you will get my post, and I post the amazing stuff ever, trust me. I posted, do you consider yourself religious? If so, what? Let me know in the comments, because I want to get to know my subscribers, okay? One person, Breezy, said, not since I was 15 years old. I don't care if people are religious, just leave me out of it. Also, no law should be influenced by any religion. Now, let's go ahead and break that down. I don't care if you are religious, just leave me out of it. To a certain extent, that is obtainable and understandable. One, it is understandable because I'm a Christian myself. I've been a Christian 14, 15 years. I read my Bible front to back, back to front. I speak in tongues. I used to do Christian rap. I used to preach and teach and everything. But I would never allow myself to force people to believe what I believe. Now, we can have a conversation and I will try to persuade you and kind of convince you, because that's my, that's my belief, my dearest belief. But I would never force somebody. I would never, if I was in a position of power, create laws and legislation to force people to live the life that I believe I should be living. I understand that. But when you say also no law should be influenced by any religion, I can't speak for other religions, obviously. But as a Christian, I believe if you're really trying to be Christ-like. Now, I don't want to get too biblical on you. I don't want to get too, but if anyone was to take a fraction of what Jesus represented and what he called us to do, and we were in a position of power to create laws and bills and legislation, America will be 100% better. 1,000,000% better if someone had a fraction of what Jesus had. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I believe, and this is why it upsets me when politicians scream up and down that they're Christians, and then in the next sentence will say something totally ignorant that contradicts them saying that they're a Christian. One thing that I think is good is someone says, hey, I'm a Christian and this is what I believe. If you read any ounce of your of a Bible, you can be like, hey, if you're a Christian, you're not supposed to be doing this and this and this. You're not supposed to be hating these kind of people. You're not supposed to be turning your back on these kind of people. You're supposed to be helping the poor, the widowed, the sick, the homeless, the hungry. You're supposed to be doing these things and you're not doing it. When do you plan on doing this? You can check these kind of people. And if they're real, they're going to have an answer. If they're real to what they believe, they're going to take accountability and they're going to make sure they pursue what's in the Bible. But if someone doesn't claim any religion or doesn't claim any kind of moral foundation, their opinions on anything can switch up on you. They could believe this one day and then 2 months not believe it. And that's what a lot of these politicians do. They say, hey, healthcare for all, because I think all of us as human beings should have access to healthcare. And then once they get into office, 2 months later, they act like they don't know even how to pronounce healthcare. You see what I'm saying? If they're religious, if they're Christian, we can hold them accountable to their religious belief, which, they will say trumps everything. We can hold them accountable to that. And if they don't flinch, if they don't move, if they don't feel gravitated to that kind of criticism, they're fake, and we can call them out on that. So that's just my little rant on, why I think, some religion, if utilized correctly, could be beneficial. All right, then we have this dude, Lucky 545 Low. I don't know. He says, you make no sense. And it's all caps. I hate when people do that. All caps. You make no sense. I'd rather walk, brother. Now he's responding to my why you should vote Democrat. My example was Republicans. I see the Republican parties as cars. They're both beat up, but one is obviously beat up than the other. Go ahead and watch the video if you want a more detailed example on that example. But that's his way of saying, I don't want to choose any party. I'd rather walk. All right, check this out. And I told him, we'll get the walking. It's going to be a long, cold walk, and you are going to die before you get to point B. Choosing not to vote is not going to work. Choosing not to vote, to me, I'd rather you vote in good conscience and in good hoping as a Republican. You don't even have to vote Democrat. If you're truly believe that Republicans in the Republican Party and Republican, bills and ideas or whatever will better regular folks like you and me, do it. Let's do it. That is cool. We can even have a conversation about that. But you saying that you're not going to vote, you're a coward. Okay? You're the lukewarm that God spits out. That's you. You're the food that is nice and warm and cooked well, but then left out in the cold. That's you. You're the one right in the fence, right up the butt crack, and you like it. That's you. You are the soft as rice type person. You are the the scum between butt cheeks. You know what I'm saying? You're that right at the upper crack where people don't wipe good. That's you. If you choose purposely not to vote because you feel that either party is not doing enough, you are the problem. Instead of coming onto my channel and criticizing everything I have to say, criticizing Republicans, criticizing Democrats without your own thought up creative solutions, and all you want to do is just complain about some stuff, you're worthless. You are no good to the cause. You want this political revolution, but you're not voting. What good are you? You are a waste of time. Choose a position. Get creative and come up with reasonable solutions that will help everybody. That's what I want you to do. Even if you have bad ideas, that's better than someone being lazy and just defeated, saying, I'm not going to vote for no party. That's whack. If so many if our historian leaders had your kind of mind frame, my black ass would be in slavery. My people would still be in slavery for cowards like this. Okay, like I don't know how else to describe it. They are a waste of time. Be a part of the solution. Come up with something. Even bad ideas are better than no idea. Don't be that person. Okay, and if you're that person going into my comment section, you gonna get the heat. You gonna get the heat regardless. Okay. But if you come reasonable, ready to have a conversation, let's have that conversation. We can talk for days upon days if you want to. But come up, but come on, come up with something, man. Don't be whack like that, bro. Because I'm gonna call you out on it. That's it.